I respectfully disagreed and still remain pretty salty about what you said about us. And I feel even more adamant about what your husband, Barack Obama, said when he talked to those men in Pittsburgh and implied that to not vote for Kamala is because we're engaging in some sort of misogyny.
I have been posting videos about Stephen A. Smith probably for a year, when other people were like, why are you posting this? And I kept telling you, he may say something, but I'm pretty sure behind the scenes he's doing something else. And because he is now seeing it, and Chris Cuomo's now seeing it, and people are beginning to speak out and go, nah, this ain't it. This is not how we are going to live our lives. We're not down with this socialism, this communism, this insanity. I make way too much damn money to buy into this. You lost me. And I told you it was going to happen. I said there's no way that somebody like him making 15, 20 million a year is down with them taking 50, 60, 70% of his money. Neither is LeBron. Neither is any of these people. It's all a complete charade, a facade that they use to, I don't know if they owe Kamala anything, but now they're like, no, we ain't down with this.
There are issues that matter to every American citizen. And to sort of blackmail us emotionally into trying to compel us to vote one way or another is part of what won Trump the election. Because
I got to bring something up, okay? So, and Jack, I'm not denigrating you. It's just something that I often see. And it says Stephen A. Smith is a hypocrite and is also a true blue Democrat through and through when it comes time to vote. And I mentioned to people a long time ago. People didn't believe me. And I said, I think you're wrong. And the reason why I said that, and I told people that I think you're wrong, is because I've been around a lot of athletes. I've been around a lot of entertainers. And I've told you, they may be outwardly Democrat, but when it comes time to sit down and do their taxes, they are most assuredly Republicans. Conservatives. For that period of time when they have to account to the government, trust me, they are conservatives. All of them want the biggest possible tax deductions they can have. If they didn't, they'd give their money away. They don't do that. All of them who, when they come down here to South Florida and they want to buy the yacht and the waterfront property, and they want to make sure they decreed homesteading, and in a state in Florida where they can't take your house from you, and they love that homesteading and no income tax. And I've seen it over and over and over and over again from some of the people you would never see, you would never know, but then they end up parking their yachts down here and buying property down here. Why? Because you can't touch their money. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole love of money thing, but these people think if they're out there earning it, if they're the ones making it, they're not giving it to the government. So you're misjudging what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a Trump supporter. I'm not saying he's MAGA. I'm saying these people are now realizing that they made mistakes and it's against their own best interest. But here's the big thing that you have to remember. They're saying it in public. They have massive audiences. A lot of people listen to them. How many people do you think that they have to speak to and say, this ain't working? Forget them. That massive amount of people that they speak to, the tens of millions of people that he speaks to each month, are seeing him go, no, I ain't doing this. No, you ain't getting my money.
that side of the aisle was able to look at the left and say, look at what they'll do to win. And y'all talking about him like he's worse. And in a lot of y'all eyes, he is worse. But that didn't make y'all clean. It really, really didn't. But when this...
All right, so, again, he's looking into the camera. He's very experienced. He knows how to deliver a message. He's not talking to you. You're already in a Trump camp. You already understand what's going on. You already have your idea about Stephen A. Smith. You're never going to tune into his show. You're never going to listen to what he has to say. It's not you. It's that audience he's talking to. And if there's like 10 people here and 50 people here going, Stephen A. sees it. If he understands now, maybe I should take a look at this MAGA stuff. Listen to what he says here. Tells you what his true meaning is.
Brother said that. What you were saying is nobody needs to make more than a certain amount of money. Who the hell are you to say that? This is America.
Ha ha! Bam! Bada bing, bada boom, right there. That's it. I can't tell you how many months ago I told you. I said it's going to come to a point where these people who are making big money are like, oh, hell no. This is where you tried to lead me? This is what this is the dance you wanted me to come to? You wanted me to support you, and this what your plan was? The problem with these people is they're just finding out. See, in October and November, like, I could never vote for somebody like Trump. Dude, they're going to take your money. I'm Stephen A. Smith. They're not taking my money. Oh, no, dude. They're coming to take your money. And now, a lot of them are finding out. I've had some conversation with some people like who've done like the Chris Cuomo thing. Damn, dude, you're right. You don't have to apologize. Just realize you've been bamboozled. You've been lied to, and now you see what they're trying to do.
That's not going to fly. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, the Democrats, if AOC and Mamdani and people like and Bernie Sanders, if folks like that take over the Democratic Party, one or two things happening. The Democratic Party is toast, or America is.
You get it.
And right now there's a bunch of going, oh, yeah, he just said that. He said that on his show. He reaches millions of people. This ain't gonna work. No. How are you going to tell me how much money oh, now you're understanding. Well, we told you months ago. Hey, man, these people are evil. They're going to be coming for you. They're taking advantage of you. You're black. You got a big audience. Oh, yeah, I could never vote for Trump. Now? That ain't never going to work. Democrat Party is toast. And unfortunately, he's correct about the second half of that. Only one or two things are going to happen. This is where you need to get in. Either the Democrat Party is toast or America is. He's not wrong. If this communist Marxist BS continues to fester and enough people don't say, stomp it out, we're done, then we're done as a country. So this is going to hurt. But you want Stephen A. Smith on your side. You want Chris Cuomo on your side. You want these people with these massive audiences with big bucks. You want them on your side now because they're the ones who are talking to the guys on the Lakers and the guys in the New York Giants. Like, hey man, you seen these people in New York? Yeah, what? They talking about taking your money. Huh? Yo, yeah, these Democrats, oh, they crazy. Oh, they've gone full communist. And as soon as you talk to the halfback of the Giants, he's like, that ain't happening. Oh, that's what they planning. You don't know, huh? That's why I don't understand the people on The View. How in the tank the people on The View? Maybe they're not making that much money. But when you start talking to entertainers and even actors at this point, actresses, you surprised that Sydney Sweeney registered as a Republican? I guess she's not just a good face. You want these people on your side. This is how this tent gets real big and gets the Democrats stomped out. Nobody wants this crap. Listen to this.
Certain amount of cult followers for anything, and then the true believers never die. I mean, a lot of people would say right now the Democratic Party is still in that mode, which is going to render them possibly an irrelevant party if they don't change.
How many times, okay, I've said it, but you're hearing it from Democrats. This has got to be terrifying to the Democrat Party. They don't care because they're not going to change. They've committed to communism. This is what we're going to do. We don't care. But even these big liberals are like, hey, man, oh, hell no. This ain't happening. So now you have to, like, talk about Bill Maher. I'm not looking to get married with him, not looking to take him home, but at least we can go to a dinner and talk. Hey, what do you think about this communist stuff in New York? No, ixnay. No. Hey, Stephen A., how you doing, bro? Hey, man, I'm not down with this. I may not be down with the Orange Man, but I definitely ain't down with this.
What would you like to see from the Democrats, like, going forward?
Much more centrism, much more get rid of the woke baggage, you know. Old school liberal is what I usually describe myself as. But that's very often the opposite of woke.
What's an old school liberal? See, if I was sitting there talking to him, and I don't drink cognac, but drinking, and I don't smoke, so I just been sitting in my hands. What's an old school liberal? Because is it like people were back in Woodstock where everybody was just a summer of love and just hanging out? Was it, where do you dial that back to? Where's the Wayback Machine for an old school liberal? When was it good? So it had to be after, I don't know, Woodrow Wilson, because he was kind of commie, and it had to be before Mondami and Obama. So where was the old school liberal time that you'd like to go back to? Because when he says the answer to that question, you're going to realize he wants to go back to the days of probably Kennedy, which is where we are right now in MAGA. They all came here, except for Caroline and her people. But you got Robert, you got Tulsi. The old school liberals are now MAGA. That's what I would ask him. Hey, man, aren't you actually describing MAGA? You're going to make me say it? Yeah, I want you to say it. I want you to flip and say it. If you want to go old school liberal, when was that? Who was in charge then? Clinton? All right, well, let's say old school liberals when Bill Clinton was in office. Well, I can tell you, even though I was conservative, I was okay with Clinton. I didn't like he or his wife, but guess what? We all made money. Life was good. Not with Carter, but with Bill Clinton, we prospered. We're mostly safe. He was out there diddling people, and his wife was out there being crazy. But maybe that's where he's talking about. I don't know. But in any event, it ain't now. So as you're hearing these people talk, I'm not asking you to be their friend. But I'm asking you, isn't it nice to see that the tent is larging and you can reach out there to that person who wasn't a Trump supporter in August or October or November and who now is like, hey man, I just checked my 401k. This dude's doing okay. Yeah, I told you, Bobby. Told you where he wanted to go. He said, make America prosper. That was one of his things. Make America great again. How great you doing right now, bro? I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, this ain't bad.
Like people to believe that there's some sort of an extension of liberalism, but they're not. They're usually something that's quite opposite. Liberalism was, we should have a colorblind society and not see race at all. That's
okay. I'm down with that. Your liberal, the one you supported, was Obama, who made everybody see racism. You're absolutely right. Why can't we all just get along and not have to, say all the different words and change our language? You want to go back to a time prior to Obama is what he just said. We didn't have all this craziness. That's a huge opening for discussion.
not what the woke believe.
Yeah, I would say it's
they're the opposite.
Quite.
Let's put race at the front of everything.
Yep, absolutely. Oppressor and oppressed, sacred, make a sacred the oppressed.
I remember along with probably most people, was saying at the beginning, by the 4th of July, somebody had a thing how the country the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first.
If that's reality, if the boogeyman under the bed is what they sold you on, and you've gone 6 months and there's no boogeyman coming up at you, and you're actually doing better, that is kryptonite for the Democrats. Where people like Bill Maher and Chris Cuomo and Stephen A. Smith and so on and so on and so on are saying, I was bamboozled. We're actually doing pretty good, which means y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm not there for putting on the red hat or anything, and I'm not going to go to any MAGA rallies, but I got to start thinking about things, and the part that gets me is they're willing to talk about it. See, every time they get in front of somebody, they're realizing, hey, let me just tell you, I don't feel that way anymore. It wasn't like that. See, those of you guys who are saying, I don't trust him, I don't care if you trust him. He's out there talking about it.
From the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump. Because that's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty. Because the truth is, I don't know what his strategy is. But look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see
people living their lives. I keep telling you that. You go to the mall, you go to the restaurant, you go to the movie theater, like, y'all not just crying in the street? No. It's good? Yeah, it's good. That is infectious. It is so infectious, it's turning deep liberal heads. I've always said to you, don't be afraid of being prosperous. You're afraid of being broke. Don't be afraid of being prosperous. Embrace that. And let other people know, hey, it's going better. I know there's some people in here who are doing stuff with XRP and everything. Hey, look, I just doubled my money. Good. Congratulations. Big hug. Because that is a common goal. People like to live better. I'm not saying you have to have a yacht or a private plane or any of that. But if living well to you is I get to take my grandson out to Carvel and we get to have ice cream cake, then let's do that. And don't be ashamed of it. But at the same token, you're seeing an end. And don't think it's by accident that they're saying this. These guys are polished media people. Spit-shined. They know exactly what they're saying. So tell yourself or ask yourself, why are they saying this? Why is Chris Cuomo? Why is Stephen A. Smith? Why is Bill Maher? Why are they saying this stuff? Let that sink in. We've got about a minute left here. I want to fill you in with that, but why are they saying this?
people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So, you know, how do we deal with that fact? Because that's the fact.
That kitchen sink.
It's a fact. So if it's a fact that it didn't do what the other people told me it was going to do, maybe, they're wrong. Which then leads you to think, what else they're wrong about? So I mentioned to you, why would someone like Bill Maher, wealthy, big audience, Stephen A. Smith, wealthy, big audience, Chris Cuomo, wealthy, don't know how big his audience is, why would they begin talking about this? Well, it's an easy answer. They can tell the tide is shifting. They know now that the people, they look at the demographics of their audiences. They understand who's watching. They understand the tide has changed at this point. And because they know the tide has changed, they're realizing that people, maybe they're producers, maybe people they know, hey man, we're doing okay. In fact, we're doing better than okay. Meanwhile, these people want to take our money. Listen to what Mike Smerconish says here.
Strategy isn't working so well. Actually, that's not fair. It is working. It's working well for Donald J. Trump. 2 impeachments, 4 indictments, endless investigations, constant carping about Trump, and condescension toward his supporters At some point, it all blends into background noise, such that when something truly egregious happens, like the firing of the person whose job it is to track labor statistics, nobody pays attention. The outrage loses its edge, the tree falls, and the forest shrugs.
The world is a complicated place, and it's not just about oppressor and oppressed. They have a thought in their head that white people did some very bad things, and white people did some very bad things. And they're all but so did everybody else in the world. But they don't.
See, I would never have even heard that on his show. Yeah, white people did stuff, but guess what? Other people did stuff too. Yep. Black people did some really bad stuff. Black people still doing bad stuff. White people still doing bad stuff. How about we just remove the color? People do bad stuff. Period. See, since Obama, we had to start saying that white people do bad stuff, black people. No, people do bad stuff. People do all kinds of crimes. People do bad things. Why do we put the descriptor on it? And now even somebody like him is like, I'm tired of it, man. I am tired of it.
Know that. They just see the world through this one prism. And until they do, I don't think you're going to get them off this issue. And I don't think the Democratic Party is going to be able to go forward until they make a decision. Whose side are you on here? Are you on the side of Western civilization and Western values, or are you on the side of the terrorists? Are you with those kids? Because, you know, Mandami, he's the perfect candidate for them.
Now, when you put it that way, and there you see what the dividing rod is. A lot of these guys are in New York, their studios are up there, and they're hearing the chatter constantly. They know at this point, people are like, is a communist really going to be the mayor of New York? Yeah. I need to book the jet to Florida real quick. Texas, Florida, somewhere. I got to get out. They're already making their landing. They're understanding that, yeah, we got to go. We can't stay here. And they're building it up right now, saying, hey, listen, unless you, now he went way farther than race. He goes, if you're not part of Western civilization, you're for the terrorists. I mean, that's a huge comment. It's like, forget Republicans and Democrats. You're either going to be in this hemisphere and go for a Western way of life, or you're done. And he didn't want to say the word that he should have said, but you know the word begins with M, ends with M, and stuff in between there. They like, strap on vests and stuff. That's what he was saying. You're either going to be with Western civilization, or you're going to be with them. I loved hearing that, because that now tells me the divide that you think is happening right now, the divide that you think is white and black, is no longer happening. It's beginning to be eroded, because people are like, our way of life, their way of life.